Oh, we're back again. Hello, and welcome to the Pointless Point of View podcast. As always, I'm with my handsome one, Mr. Fraser Doig.
Man.
As always, I am Colin Taylor, and we are still doing this the social distance way.
Yep, the social distancing way.
That's the best way. I think it's the best way to fucking say it. To be honest with you, this week we kind of changed it up. Yes, we said last time we were going to do Blade 1, 2, and 3, but because of Amazon kind of
We had
showing
some
us the
technical
boot, yeah.
issues getting up to
Uh,
Blade 2.
so we kind of just went, let's do a bit more horror. Obviously, Blade's great trilogy, but we'll move into a bit of horror this week, next week, and maybe I don't know for the week after. But we're here, and we are doing Fraser's choice, The Frighteners, a Michael
Yes,
J. Fox from 1996.
it
Um,
is it's still like a sort of happy-go-lucky horror, kind of stepping that toe into hopefully scaring the shit out of Callum. Like this isn't scary, but then hopefully eventually down the line. But I may as well
it's very
start it with
mean.
some
It's
news.
very mean that you want to do that to me. You know what I
It's
mean?
because you're a big scaredy cat.
We're all here as friends, and I feel like you're trying to make fun of me for not being a fan of scary films. You know what I mean? And it's quite mean, mate. It's quite mean. But we are
Well,
here.
my wife isn't a fan of scary films, and this is the excuse where I can watch some in the house. So
Well, at
yeah, we
least
don't
I'm a
get
good.
to. I don't get to watch scary films in my house because she doesn't like them. So I either watch them by myself, or that's it.
Uh,
that's,
oh,
that's
oh,
it.
yes. Well, it's a good excuse, I guess.
Yes.
Good excuse.
Anyway, we've got to start with some news before we jump into the film because we always start with the news.
Yes, us as a station of our normal routine. That's what we're trying to get back into, as we always do. Um, but we'll kick it off. There was a leak slash rumour going around. I've heard this from a few people. Now, this is a favourite of ours, if this is to be true, that God of War, aka Ragnarok, will be releasing on February the 5th, 2021. Now,
This
to
is
me,
quite a recent leak,
yeah,
uh,
it's been
but
out. It's been, I think it's about a week, maybe a couple of days, give or take, a week at most. But I've heard a few sources typing up on Twitter and talking about it and saying it's a possibility, and they've been working on it from the get go since the last one. So,
That I believe,
yeah,
100%. They maybe took a little bit off because I mean I watched the documentary on making God of War and it seems like a lot of hard work, so they maybe took a little bit of time off. Um, or on the other hand, maybe Sony knew like basically eventually when it got to the point where they started seeing what the game was really like, they were like, this is going to be a smash hit, and maybe start working on the early processes of a second one before the first one even got released. Um,
yeah.
but
I didn't. I seen this coming. Like I felt like it'd been the first 6 months of the year because of obviously the PlayStation 5 come out, and if you're trying to sell a PlayStation 5, people are going to be like, wow, okay, I'll buy Ragnarok for it since God of War was such a smash
it
hit.
does seem a little bit early, since we kind of got the announcement.
Yeah,
But see, I was kind of thinking, well, let them build up the hype. But then on the other hand, when it comes to the magnitude of this game, because of how good the last one was, it kind of does it. The hype, like basically, you don't need. Folk are already hyped just by saying it the sentence.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Um,
So it doesn't need that months build up, build up, build up, build up.
what bothers
Um,
me though is I feel like it'll be something that might, like they'll be like, oh, February 5th, yeah, that's doable. Then they're like, well, we're going to push it. We're going to push it a little just to try and edge out all the bugs. We've had that
Well,
quite a lot
see,
this year.
I don't think it's to do with bugs at all, mate. I think what it is that probably if the world was in a better state right now, during that PlayStation announcement, they probably would have given a date, but they don't want to give a date because dates can change at a whim because of COVID. So I think that I don't think it's to do with bugs. I don't think it's to do with anything like that. I think it's to do with basically they they want to release it at the time that they think, but then something could happen down the line, and then COVID, and then they just don't want to release it.
Yeah.
It's basically what happens with every movie, where it's like getting delayed every other week. So that's probably what it is, man. Like, I mean, no, I kind of understand where some games kind of come out buggy, but I played the entire God of War and I never had a single bug.
Nah, nah. The
So I
the
doubt it's
axe,
that.
the axe always came back to me. That's all I needed,
So like
really.
I doubt it's bug related, but it could be COVID related, I think.
Yeah, true, true. Next bit of news is movie slash TV news. It's not something we particularly would be hyped about, I think, but it has been announced that Power Rangers is getting a new movie reboot and a TV show which links the universe together. So it seems like they're really doing like an Agents of Shield Marvel movies type thing.
They've tried
Uh,
this what twice now,
yeah. Um,
so it's not like just it's not it's never going to be as good. Like
no, no. But it can't be any worse. It can't
no,
really get
I mean
worse.
at the end of the day, the thing about Power Rangers, what kind of makes it good, is kind of the cheesiness of it. So what Hollywood tend to do now is they kind of take it too seriously. Where what they don't understand is what made Power Rangers entertaining was just the pure silliness of it. Like nobody's watching Power Rangers for the story. Nobody's watching like there is some aspects to there, but most people watch Power Rangers to see Flip and say weird shit and then fight a monster for then the monster to get beat but then turn back up the size of a building so they can all get in a Power Ranger and then beat him up and then next week it just happens again.
Yeah, and
Like,
a
but
really
that's
cool flute. Like give someone the greatest sword of all time.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Just
it's just
that's all we
silly, but
want.
what happens with Hollywood is they try and be all serious about it and be like, no,
Yeah,
just embrace the silliness and maybe it might actually be fun.
yeah. It's kind of weird that their character got lost on a Apocalypse in fucking the X-Men film. But anyway, um, moving on because there's not really much we have. We've not got a date or anything sorted for it, so we can't really go that far into it. Sorry, my stuff's playing up on my screens. But we got a trailer for a film I know you are very hyped about. I know you're excited to see it. I know a few of our friends are excited to see it because I know the main character is one of your favourite actresses. This is the Monster Hunter film.
Well, everything you just said is not true, but
I don't know.
um,
I have quite a few friends who hate me for my COD love, who are in love with Mila Jokovic and her performance in all her films, and now this. So I'm hyped for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be a good
see, I'm on the fence, man.
film.
Like I truly, as I say, everything that he's saying there is a lie. It's basically because it's done by Paul W.S. Anderson, the same guy that did Resident Evil. She's obviously in it because they're married. She's in everything he fucking does for obvious reasons. I don't know how to feel about it because, as we talked about that bit at the start, we talked about it last week. That they get teleported to the world, and that's why they've got guns and
I like
stuff.
that they showed it. I like that they showed how it happened. I kind of
You get
wish
to
it.
see
I kind
proper
of
weapons like a bow and a sword, and you get
yeah,
to see dual blades. The thing is the monsters look good. There is no
yeah,
denying that. The
yeah,
monsters look fucking good. It's just everything else. Like, see it's you know what is also seems like is going to annoy me is that it seems like when they get teleported to this world, that she kind of embraces the Monster Hunter way. She starts using dual blades. She like dresses like a Monster Hunter. She's using the weapons, but it seems like all of her army pals just continue to use guns and stuff.
yeah. Which
Have you noticed that? Like they all still dress like soldiers, but she starts looking like in that world. So like because if they got teleported to that world and started using guns for the beginning because they don't know what the hell's going on, I can forgive that. And then they all basically get like imagine they all go to the village because there's always a village after they run and have the run in with Diablo, and the guy explains where they are, and they're like okay, and then they all choose like a different weapon style.
yeah,
Like if all the bit like one of them picks up like a hammer, one of them goes with great sword, one of them, she goes dual blade, someone uses a bow, and they just embrace the world and the weapons. It might become interesting, but it seems like she does, and the rest just stay as army men in their army
well,
suits with guns.
maybe it's the fact that maybe they get separated. Maybe they get separated, and she's the only one that's fucking been kept picked up by that guy, and they meet up at another point. So that's why they're still in the army shit. You know what I mean? It might make more sense that way. Like, or she has to rescue her teammates with some evil little cats who drag her into a net and all this stuff, and she has to go rescue them. So she goes full fucking hunter.
It also seems like by the trailer that you saw the Raffles attacking the plane, and
Yeah,
then she's dressed like the monster. It looks like they also come into our world, maybe.
yeah, which I don't know
Unless a
how
plane
that'll
just
look.
comes through. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why they've kind of done this suck people into the world thing, because I get it, the monster, like, it's not a real world, but just set it in that world in the first place.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you
but I
just
think
think,
it's more of a because you've obviously got one like it's probably like split down the middle of like people on American side, which like or American Europe and the UK, where they're like, oh, I like shit where it's like the army and no the army really, but you know what I mean, like real life, and then you've got people who in Japan and Asian parts of the world where they're like, oh, we love big monsters, and they're kind of molding it together to try and hit both demographics. So I think
see,
that's what
what
they're
I
trying to
think it
play at.
is, I do agree with that. They're trying to hit every demographic, but what I think it is because if it was just set in the Monster Hunter world, the people would already know what the monsters are.
Yeah.
Where
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
then basically, if you pull someone in a different world, then basically there is someone going to be there going like, "What's this? What's that? What the fuck is this? Who the fuck is that?" And then they basically have to explain everything and what's going on. Where
Yeah.
if someone was in that world already, they would already know, and the audience would just have to accept there's giant monsters. And if you are not if you're like you don't know anything about the Monster Hunter world, you'd be like, "Well, I'm confused." But
Yeah.
then on the other hand, if you're not into Monster Hunter World, you're not going to go see this. The average viewer is feels like I feel like isn't going to be interested. The people that are interested are the ones that know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly agree.
So
Like it's not a thing for the like if I had never played and completed Monster Hunter, I don't think I would have went and seen the film. Like unless you were like, I need to go see this, I'd be like, okay, I'll come
yeah,
with you.
that's
But
the thing. I'd be the same. Like if I never knew what Monster Hunter World is, or like if I only knew it from just like Monster Hunter, and
yeah,
then I would just think it's another like Rampage,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
or like a sort of like one of those monster movies that come out where they just fight giant. Like I wouldn't know about like the different type of weapon types you can use, and like I wouldn't know. Like why is
different
he like
creatures and why he
I
fights
would
the same way. Yeah,
accept him shooting with a gun. I'd be like, well, of course you'd shoot it with a gun. Like, why is this cunt using a sword and that? Like, I can accept that, but obviously being a Monster Hunter fan, I then know what the hell's going on, and it kind of makes so it's weird. It's like if you're not a Monster Hunter fan, you might actually like it, but if you are
yeah,
a Monster Hunter fan, you might end up disliking it.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like it's basically like what they always do in Hollywood, like we've said in the past, and kind of what you just said at the same time, is that it's they always build it around for everybody to go see it, not the people who should be going to see it.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But I'm on the fence. I'll give
Yeah,
an opinion once I see
that's
it.
the thing. That's what I said. I'm the same because like the monsters look cool as fuck. Like there's no denying that.
Yeah,
Like they nailed that. The Rathalos looks awesome. The Diablos looks awesome. All the like endemic life kicking about. The bit where the guy used the great sword actually looks good. The guy with the bow and that, like, it looks interesting. It's just the
yeah,
whole weird army thing that I just didn't like.
yeah. Let's just give it. We'll give our opinion once we see it. Hopefully in a
Yeah,
cinema surrounded by
I mean,
other 40 sweaty people who
it's
love
yeah.
it.
Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be the best thing that's ever existed, but I would like to go into it and come out and be like, that's not as bad as I thought. Like, I'm looking for Sonic level of good because Sonic was way better than it had any right to be.
Oh, aye. Sonic had
Like, it's just
Sonic should have been terrible, but it was actually really good.
exactly. So I'm looking for that sort of aspect where I'm like, oh, that's they actually tried with a gaming movie because usually
Yeah,
gaming movies are fucking shit.
yeah. Right.
Um,
Moving on. We have another movie. It is the Furiosa prequel. Now it's been confirmed that Anna Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and I will try not to brutalise his name, Yahya Abdul Mateen II. aka the
Yes,
guy for Black
68.
Manta.
So
I've been
obviously,
confirmed.
yeah, the guy who's Black Manta, he's appeared in a lot of Jordan Peele movies. He appears in everything that we kind of occasionally he'll just appear on this podcast because he just does.
Yeah, and he's good.
Um,
He's a good actor.
yeah,
Um,
he's very talented. He's in the new Matrix film.
yep.
Like he's incredibly talented. So
Yeah.
I
Obviously,
still don't know how I feel about this.
Anna Taylor-Joy is in the highly anticipated New Mutants
What do you
film.
mean highly anticipated? It's already been out.
Not yet, not for me. It's November the 17th, I believe it's coming out for, so I can see it. But I don't know how I feel. I think I'm on the same fence as you, where I'm kind of like, a Furious, a prequel without Charlize Theron. Doesn't
No,
really.
she's in it.
No, that Anna Taylor-Joy is playing Furiosa. It's a prequel.
I thought that she's just. I thought they've just
No,
joined the cast.
no, that's who she's playing.
Huh.
Yeah, kind of takes it away. You're kind of like, oh well, fuck you.
I
That's
thought that I thought that she was. I thought that like Charlize Theron was in it, and then they were just part of the
no,
cast.
no, mate. She is playing a young Furiosa. It's like it's such a brand new cast, pretty much, because they want to see how she became who she was. I personally would have liked to seen
Well,
Charlize
that
Theron
just
come
makes me
back.
dislike it even more now. I mean, it does. Like that makes me dislike it even more.
I'm sorry for
But
shit.
no, it's more about. To be honest, I was kind of always going to be on the fence with this because it is a prequel to basically one of the best films in the last wee while. One in my mind, one of the best action films ever made. Is Mad Max Fury Road. So, like this has certain aspects to me where I'm going to be like, especially if it's still getting directed by George Miller, which I have that makes me have faith.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, it's like it's weird. It's like I liked Furiosa in that movie and I liked Max in that movie, but that's not why that movie is good.
yeah,
Like I love the aspect of Furiosa with like her emotional hang and all that stuff. But the reason why I love Mad Max Fury Road is because it's a non-stop, just pure thrill, crazy, mental
yeah,
desert
yeah.
chase.
That's so good.
And I do love the emotional stuff between like Furiosa and that. But does that deserve a full movie? Not really.
Yeah,
Like why not just make a sequel to Mad Max Fury Road?
yeah. I know. I don't understand it either. I don't understand it, and I
And
watch
I
it,
mean, obviously, there's
but
it's basically just the swirling rumors about how um,
Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy were horrible to work together.
they just didn't like working with each other. That's probably like that's maybe it. Like that's maybe
Yeah,
why they won't do another one.
yeah, which makes
Um,
sense. You know what I mean?
I mean, speaking of Tom Hardy, if you want to segue,
That was a nice segue. Nice segue. It is again on a list somewhere that Tom Hardy is front runner and is maybe already signed up to be the new James Bond. Now I know this is every 6 months we come out with a person who is going to be James Bond, and Daniel Craig
to me,
tends to
this
sign
seems
up
like the
to fuck.
likeliest. To me, this seems like the most likeliest person. There is only one other person I think that could be as close to being Bond as
Idris
Tom
Elba.
Hardy.
Idris
See, I
Elba.
wasn't going to say Idris Elba, but fair enough, there's another two people that I say
Who were you going to say?
that I was going to say Tom Hiddleston.
Mate, it's better than a rumor that went around saying Harry Styles was in the running.
That was I remember that. That was like pre 2020, was it not? Like
Yeah.
when Bond was going to come out at the right time. But yeah, so Tom Hardy to me is like that's the one who's the rumors have jumped up again.
If you get
I would be against any of those three picks, to be honest.
Yeah. But the thing is with Idris Elba and Tom Hardy, right? Because of how they act and because of their build and who they are, they kind of carry on the Daniel Craig aspect for me.
So does Tom Hardy, in my opinion. Tom Hardy's the most.
Yeah, but that's what I
Daniel
mean. Tom Hardy and Idris Elba, they carry on this Daniel Craig thing where it's like fucking one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat. Get Hiddleston in. He's going to be more about the gadgets, I feel. He's going to be more like,
So,
alright,
so you think he's going to be more like a Pierce Brosnan?
yeah, yeah,
See, that's the thing that I was going to actually basically say. You kind of basically you put nailed the head on the fucking coffin there. It was that like, to me, one of the things about Bond is that every Bond is kind of different.
Yeah.
And if Tom Hardy and Idris Elba just feel like it's going to be, especially Tom Hardy, nothing against him, I think he's a fucking incredible actor. I think stuff he does is brilliant.
Yeah.
But to me, it's going to be like, it's either going to be Daniel Craig light, or you're just going for the same thing.
No. I think it's going to be Daniel Craig, but with that fucking the Bruiser Cray type attitude. You know what I mean? That type of guy who's in Pulp Fiction.
Daniel Craig kind of has that too in some films.
Yeah,
like,
but that's what I mean. Like that's what I see.
He goes Skyfall.
Yeah.
One of us all can suck a dick, but like that, like he sort of that aspect in the first place. But I mean, you never know. They might even just go completely left field and just, you know how in the new movie the lassie, like he's retired, so they've given the 00 status to the girl that's in the film.
Yeah.
They might just go with her. Like, not that I'd hate that.
No, I don't mind either, but I just know that
I mean, obviously, I know they won't, because for some reason...
They're just not willing to touch that. They're not like, no.
Yeah. I mean, if they cast Idris Elba, people will already go crazy because he's black, which is, it doesn't make a goddamn difference.
Nope. Since 007, it's just a
already be classed like as controversial or whatever. So if they were to make it a woman, it would be even worse. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm in basically the mindset of that James Bond is just an acronym. It's not his fucking name.
Yeah.
Apart from basically, I think that they did that because like James Bond, in Skyfall, you know, his parents are Scottish and stuff like that. So maybe Daniel Craig was like the first, but
that's what I like about Daniel Craig, though. They kind of lean on the whole. Yeah, you're not really 007, it's just a name, and especially the new one where it's like, this is the new 007. This is a new like they've not named her James Bond or anything. So unless if they go, she's Janet Bond, you know, or Jamie Bond, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of playing on it. Then you know it's not really a name for someone. It's just a cover, which I'm okay with.
But see, for me, when it comes to obviously the Daniel Craigs, is they're kind of restarting it though, because obviously Blofeld is kind of back and it's the first time dealing with him. But technically, if you go by all the James Bond he's dealt with him before, and I'm still in the mindset that Rami Malek's character is Doctor No. Like I'm totally 100% believing that's the truth.
Yeah.
But you know, like, so it all you're just going to see how it goes. I wouldn't be bothered who it is, as long as like that's the
good
thing.
Actor,
it's like
good film, good story. That's all we need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like when it comes to the Marvel stuff and whenever somebody gets cast and they're like, oh my god, this is the worst thing that's ever happened, but you don't know if they're going to nail it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's happened. How many times has it happened where someone gets cast, folk hate it, and it's turned out great?
A lot.
Like, it's happened so many times.
Brie Larson, people hated the fact it was going to be her, and she was good. You know what I mean? People didn't. Yeah.
Heath Ledger, Michael Keaton. Sometimes it doesn't work out because, you know, Jared Leto.
Christian Bale. Nobody thought he'd be a good Batman. Ben Affleck, no one thought he'd be a good Batman. I know we went totally DC at this moment.
Robert Pattinson.
Batman. But even Chris Evans, when he first Captain America, people were like, he's too funny.
Robert Downey Jr. had a bad past with alcohol and drug abuse, and we're like, what is he going to be Iron Man for?
Yep.
Even though when you think about it, it's the perfect casting because, you know,
Iron Man's a drunk.
Alcoholic shit.
But
anyway, we're off topic.
Yes. Moving on.
But yeah, I think it's a not bad choice. I'll end on that.
Segueing on to more Marvel news, it has been announced. Now, this is just Spider-Man 3 news. We're going to break it down. But it's been announced that Doctor Strange will show up. It has been
as like a mentor or mentor role. See,
yes.
Now, obviously, I get that, right? But I still feel like they kind of need to stop this.
Yeah, bringing someone in to be his mentor. They
need to stop giving him mentors.
Yeah, he's a bit past it now.
Just let Spider-Man fail and do it himself.
I don't want to hear about fucking Iron Man the whole film, though. Like, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
That's the
Like,
worst thing they've done with Spider-Man in the MCU, in my opinion, is it's centered around
alright, man.
someone else who's not as like, you know what I mean? Well, we've had this discussion 1,000
Yes,
times here.
but with us telling you about Jamie Foxx joining last week, Doctor Strange being announced to be going in this week. There has been a rumour, which Sony hasn't denied or admitted, that both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be reprising their roles in Spider-Man 3.
So like a live action Spider-Verse.
Yes,
Um,
but
yes, that
I heard,
basically like fueled the fire.
yes,
When he got catched, when Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be in Spider-Man 3 and he was announced, and then his next movie is about the multiverse. Basically, everybody was like, "So, other Spider-Mans, right?"
yep,
Because basically after Spider-Verse, that's all everybody's wanted is a live action Spider-Verse. So I can understand how it's snowballed into a basically giant boulder, and the fact that, in my opinion, Sony hasn't come out and said yes or no makes me think that they're either going, "We're not doing this, but
oh, they're like, maybe,
don't tell people we're not doing this because then that'll people will stop thinking about it," or
yeah,
"We aren't going to do this, but see now that everybody won't shut the fuck up about it, let's do it."
yeah, and also there is it's not, this is a out of the left field, nothing confirmed, just a random person brought it up and it came up as a discussion, right? Craven the Hunter is going to be in this film, right? Just listen me out, because
Right,
Craven the
wait,
Hunter.
this isn't confirmed though?
No, this is nothing. This is just the
Okay,
people
so
talking.
this is just you. This is just a pure
This is doing a rabbit
speculation.
hole. This is doing a rabbit
Right.
hole conversation I've
Okay.
seen,
Okay.
right?
Go on then. Go.
Right.
I'm happy to listen to that.
Craven the Hunter is
Mm.
a multiverse hunter, and he wishes to kill. He's in every Earth he's went to. He's killed every Spider-Man, and there is 3 Spider-Men left. So they come together like they kind of hop into each other, and they all end
Mm-hmm.
up in the MCU world. And there's Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield fighting off an Electro and Craven the Hunter in this film.
Okay.
Because you know how the Spider-Man films they tend to sometimes do a 1-2 villains in it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, see, the only problem I have with that is that Kraven the Hunter is not big enough for a multiverse villain.
No, not like I think if he's just a guy who leaps through the universes and kills people, he's not like I've killed the whole MCU. I've killed all these animals and species, and now I hunt the Spider-Men because they're the greatest hunt I can get. So he's leaping from Earth to Earth. He's killed a few of them, and then he's going after these ones. You know what I mean? So it might mean they throw in like the Japanese Spider-Man as a wee hint, like an Easter egg like thing. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like they're coming together in the final film, Spider-Man 3, and they're fighting, and it kind of opens up people possibilities of the multiverse and all this stuff, and it could be more Easter eggs, like with Kang, and all this stuff just kind of being put together into it. I like the idea. It's really left field, and I think that'd be a really good Spider-Man 3 film, but I don't think they're going to take a chance on it, because I think if Marvel want to do Craven, they're going to do it their way, and Sony will kind of be like, well, we need to put an input if he's going after our characters technically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, I think that Kraven isn't big enough for that concept.
Yeah, but
Nothing against
you don't
Kraven, I
think
think
you
Kraven's
don't think
good,
it'd be a
but
big
like,
enough character to kind of hunt them? Like he's
no, I
jumped.
don't, it doesn't feel like Kraven the Hunter like comes across this like. It feels like Kraven the Hunter to me is like he wouldn't leave another. He wouldn't like he's. The whole point in Kraven the Hunter, like you say, yeah, he goes after Spider-Man because it's like a rare species. But
Yeah,
it just feels like he doesn't have the capability to know of different timelines and other Spider-Man unless someone sat him down and basically explained the whole thing. But then that would be like, well, how does he know that? Because they
but what
wouldn't
happens?
explain it.
Do you remember Madam Web for the cartoons?
Yeah,
The old lady in the weird chair, right? What
yeah.
happens if he kills her in one of these Spider-Man worlds, right? And she either forced or accidentally let slip of a multiverse of um, of Spider-Man. Some
I
stronger
think
than
it's too
others.
much though. I think it's like
Too much for one film.
it's more, but it's also like too much of a jump to thingy. Like it's basically been like things conveniently happen, and then he just conveniently goes. The way that basically the MCU and like to do it is that like timelines accidentally get fucked, or
Yeah,
machines accidentally get made that make timelines.
yeah,
Like in Spider-Verse, where they're making a machine, and then by fighting Hingy, it kind of, Miles sets it off and makes the explosion, and then brings the other Spider-Man into the world. Like
yeah,
it's like an accident. It wouldn't seem like somebody just. The only person who's big enough to just miraculously appear and fuck up shit in the MCU was Thanos, and Craven ain't that in that level.
yeah. I get it. I get it. I
But
can't.
the whole idea of someone jumping from universe to universe to take out all the Spider-Man is a classic idea.
I
I
just feel
just
like it
don't think
leans
it's
on
creative.
the. It leans too much into the Spider Verse too much. If they'd done it, people might be like, "Oh, they're just kind of carrying on from this to try and live off the popularity." You
Well,
know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie, but the fact that they do it in any way, it is basically copy. It is because of Spider Verse. Like
Yeah,
all this, the fact this rumor has happened in the first place is because of Spider Verse.
yeah,
Like there's no denying that. I mean, obviously you sent me something on Instagram the day like of a conversation between Miles Morales and the fucking
the
that
game, Peter
yeah, yeah,
Parker and
and
MJ.
that's because of it's because of Spider Verse as well. Like it's genuinely all this stuff about like Spider Man meeting Spider Man is basically because of the Spider Verse, because it was always in there and people knew about it. Like like proper comic book fans knew about all the different kind of Spider Man, but Spider Verse basically made it like, there is more than just Peter Parker,
Yeah,
and it was good. So now anytime there's like the thought of putting more Spider-Man together, that it's just because of Spider-Verse. So they just have to accept that they're copying, basically.
yeah,
Um, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. The only problem for me, like, is that if they do all the Spider-Man, how do you balance them all out and still make it like make me care about them? Because I'm not gonna lie, like I'll care about Tom Holland because of what happened in all the other films and what he's done in the MCU. I'll probably care about Tobey Maguire because that's the kind of Spider-Man I grew up with.
and now
But
the
I couldn't give
best
a
one,
fucking rat's ass
the
about.
best
I
one
couldn't
about
give a
Tobey
rat's no,
Maguire,
no. Could
Andrew
not give a
Garfield.
fucking.
Andrew
Could not
Garfield's the
give a
best
rat's
one.
ass about his character.
He's the best one.
Could not care.
Plays the character best. But anyway,
No. You know what? We're not getting into an argument on the podcast, but I couldn't give a rat's ass about his character. So, and plus, they're all too similar.
well, they are kind of.
So the whole point, the whole reason why Spider Verse is excellent is because like Miles is completely different with Peter B. Parker, and then there's Noir Spider Man, there's the anime Spider Man, there's like Gwen, where if this happens, they're all just the same Spider Man. There's
Yeah,
no difference. Like
true
they're
that.
all just Peter Parker. They're all just the same Spider Man. They've all lost their uncle, just their uncle. They've all got sad about it. They've all
No,
just
one was a, like, aye, yeah, shut up, Calm. I'm talking about Into the Spider-Verse.
exactly. So, like, one of the best things about it is better because all Spider-Man are different. But if they do it in a live action one, then they're all just the same Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Is it? And I think that it has to be. Basically, I'm glad that Marvel are thinking about doing it because if Sony did it by themselves, they would fuck it
yeah. Every
really
six
badly.
ways for Sunday they'd fuck it. We
Because
all know that.
I'm not giving Sony the credit for Spider-Verse being good because it's not because of them. Spider-Verse is good.
No, definitely not.
Um, But it's an
But
interesting thing to think about, man. Though
yeah,
it
but
is a
that's
massive
the Marvel thing though. Like we could get to the end of fucking Doctor Strange and they're like, boom, somebody walks through and it's the bad guy from Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean? Like it could be anything. I like the fact
That's,
that
they could just do whatever they want now because they've earned it.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I will agree. Like it's basically led to a conversation like this where, like they can do whatever they want, and I would be not. I wouldn't be like that. Doesn't make sense. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, it depends on the circumstances, knowing some of the characters. But I mean, like,
Here's the thing with it. It could come to the end of Spider-Man 3 and Miles Morales is the last Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, well, it depends because like Peter's not that older and his nephew and
I
I
know, but you
mean,
know what I
this,
mean. Like
to
it's just
me
one of the
though, like
things.
I don't. To me, it's like they're kind of people have kind of forgot what happens at the end of the last Spider-Man about it. You know, like spoilers, whatever. It's been ages, but everybody finds out that he's Spider-Man because of Mysterio. Like I
Yeah,
feel like they need to maybe focus on that instead of just randomly chucking more Spider-Man in.
yeah,
Like it's I don't know where they're gonna go from it, and I think because of this whole rumor that's happened, I think that it's like something people want desperately, but I don't think it's the time,
yeah.
and I just don't know
Let
if
it build up. Maybe make it a Spider-Man 4. You know what I mean? But let it kind of work out itself. You know, unless Peter's like, I need to use time travel to make sure my name doesn't get put out there, and then it's just like, oh,
which would be weird. Just like the first sentence he
yeah,
says, it's like, "You ever had the feeling there's other Spider-Men in the world, like just out of the
yeah.
blue?"
Doc goes to Doctor Strange like, Doc, do you think I could change my past with your stone that was destroyed, but then given back and all this stuff? I'd love that. I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go for all
Yeah, I
weekend.
don't know where they're gonna go.
Doctor Strange could be a mad cunt in Spider-Man 3 after whatever the fuck Wanda does to him. Mate, it could come to Spider-Man 3 and they've somehow made it so none of that shit happens in Spider-Man 2. You know what I mean? Like, they could have been, like Wanda's fucked the world and she's like, all mutants are real, blah blah, all that shit, like for the House M stuff. Could just ruin it all. Could just ruin it all with Dick M. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But, I feel like if we keep going on a tangent like this, we'll never stop talking because Marvel is something that we can go on forever with. So, let's move on to a first Halloween film ish, and it was your
Blade
choice.
counts as Halloween. Blade is if I were. That's the thing. When I was like looking at my choices for films for Halloween, there was a couple that catch my eyes, but they were vampire films, and we just did a vampire film.
Yeah, can't
You know?
watch. Yeah, yeah. But this is your choice. The Frighteners from 1996, a Michael J. Fox film, also directed by Peter Jackson, which I didn't see coming when I started watching this, but hey ho. Let's move on with it. And Fraser, what's the film about? Give me a little rundown.
It's basically about a paranormal investigator who is fake, but is actually not. He basically gets plays scams on people, but he can actually see ghosts at the same time because of a traumatic incident in his life.
Yep.
And basically he starts noticing people dying, and it gets blamed on him, and he needs to figure out what's going on. Now we may as well because we have slight discussions before thinking this. We may as well just talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
You don't like this.
No. I found it very boring. Neither comical nor Halloweeny creepy. In any way, shape or form. I
Well,
did
like I
not enjoy
say,
it.
I'm kind of easing you into
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is like it's like a sort of gothic comedy, like a sort of dark sort. It's basically trying to
It's
make light
so
of a bit of dark
gothic.
subject.
It's so gothic that it's not funny for it. That's how gothic it is, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the movie sort of starts with like the lassie, one of the lassie characters, and Patrice. She's getting attacked by like the wall,
Yeah.
and like it's like, how do you feel about like the wall effect, like the ghost effects, like all the effects in the movie?
Right.
Some of them are
The
all right, some
ghost
of them are not.
the ghost, like that ectoplasma like that was good. That looked good.
Hmm.
It held up and it looked well. The wall pushing out and the floor, that looked awful in my opinion.
Again, though, you got to remember when it came out.
Yeah,
Like,
1996. Yeah,
that's not it's for 1996. That's pretty good. Like, it's not
yeah. It's
compared
very
to now. Yeah, it's terrible, but you can't really say like it's a heap of shit when it came out.
okay. It was good for its time. It does not hold up now.
That's
Is
yeah.
a
That's
better
the
way of
saying. It's
saying
not.
it.
It doesn't
Yes.
hold up. That's what I said. Compared to the actual plasma people, it's not that great. It just
Yeah.
for the time it was pretty good, but it doesn't hold up now.
The echo, eco, or whatever the fuck they called it, like the plasma look of the ghosts, the normal people, looked good until they interacted with people. You know what I mean? Like any time a ghost was holding someone or anything like that, that looked awful. But again, 1996. You know, Peter Jackson, he's not really that good a director. I'm joking, obviously joking. People joking. I feel like Michael J. Fox kind of foamed it in. Like, it just seems like the same character in every film. For me
I like
personally,
Michael J. Fox. Obviously, like it's hard. The thing about Michael J. Fox is that it's hard not to see Marty McFly.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's the thing with Michael J. Fox is that when it comes to Back to the Future, it's hard to see anything else. So
yeah,
I do get that when you say that you feel like he's no different because that is so Back to the Future is so ingrained that it's just hard to be past it. So I get that, but I still think he's pretty competent in the movie. I still think he does well. Yeah, I still think he like acts pretty good. He's the last day that he meets, give or take, sometimes.
yeah. Lucy Linsky, played by Trini Alvardo, the
She's
doctor.
okay. I like her.
Yeah,
Like,
I like her too, but I kind of we've spoken about this offhand, but I kind of feel like her instant reaction to him is forced. Like
yes, it
her and
does
her
feel a bit
man
forced.
were like in love. You know what
Well,
I
her
mean?
man's a helmet.
Yeah. Also, fun fact: the guy who played him, say, was like in the film where like the supernatural stuff starts kicking in and like the bedrooms movies. Like, oh my god, Elvis is alive.
Yeah.
He played young Elvis in Forrest Gump.
What, as in the one where you just see his legs and he's like hanging in the room, and Forrest's mum's like, don't be bothering this young man. This, and he's like, don't you worry about it. That young Elvis.
Yeah,
Oh, so there you go.
yeah, just a little
I
bit of
did not know
information.
that.
Yeah.
Fun fact, trivia.
But trivia, but like she comes and goes, but it seems really forced. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like they wrote the film and then they went, okay, she is
Needs a love
curious about
interest.
it. Let's put these two people who have lost their husbands and wives. Let's just put them together because that's normal. They'll just within the 5 minutes of knowing each other, they'll just kind of flirt and they'll fall. Like it
Yeah,
just
like,
seems
I
really
do agree
forced.
with that. The relationships feels forced.
Yeah,
One aspect I like, and I know it's going to sound weird saying I like it, but I do like the whole sort of shooting thing, like the weird like sort of like the way the villain, like obviously we always talk going to feel spoilers here, but like when it, like I do the guy like the guy that's played by Gary Busey, the sort of hospital shooter,
yeah.
the guy's
Johnny,
fascinated with killers.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. He's
Yeah,
fascinated with killers. He said he got a higher number than Starkweather, who
yeah.
Starkweather was a real person. Um,
Yes, we know.
not
You're
made up for the film, but like a real person. But he's like, I do like that aspect, and obviously saying that I like it is really dark, but I just feel like
it's a
it's
nice
better.
touch. It's a nice touch to make it realistic in a sense. Like
Yeah,
like
because
it's
like
on you go.
obviously like the villain, the ghost villain dressed like Ghost, like he starts attacking people, looks like the Grim Reaper before you
Yes.
find out who it really is, right?
Yeah.
But see if it turned out to be the Grim Reaper, I bet you would hate this film even more.
Oh, definitely. Like watching that, I was kind of like when I watched it, I was kind of like, it seems really weird that it's just the Grim Reaper. Like it's,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like watching it, you're like, oh, Grim Reaper, that's strange. Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point? Like, what's Death's reason of doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But when you find out the actual real, like who it really is, it kind of does make it a bit better because of that aspect of that. Like
Yeah. It works in.
that's
It
what.
works. It works better like that. I feel. If they just pulled it off and it'd been fucking some random, like the 12th guy that died or some shit, that would have been weird. Um,
Right. One thing I wanted to ask about, obviously, we have to say, like he bumps into Peter Jackson, classic. Peter Jackson makes a cameo in his own movies. He always does that.
did he? I never even noticed.
So was when he's walking towards the shop and he's the newspaper or whatever, and he bumps into like a guy who's wearing a Satan T-shirt.
Oh, is that Peter Jackson?
That's Peter Jackson, yeah.
Oh,
Um,
get what I did like. What I did
uh-huh.
like about this film is Arlie Hermy,
Uh,
the army guy. Hales.
Oh, okay. I would say
I I like that. You know what I mean? I like that. I
like I
don't
was
know.
gonna ask, do you know who that is? Like
It's oh, fuck. What's the film?
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. And it's just I enjoyed that bit. Like,
Yeah, I'm
what?
glad it's because I was going to ask because I thought you would hate it because I didn't know if you knew who it was. I thought you were going to be confused by it.
No. Also, I knew that he's the janitor's dad in Scrubs.
Oh yeah, so he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Janet.
The minute it was like, "You maggot," I was like, "Oh my god, why? Like, how is he here? Like, what?" I like that wee bit, that wee touch. Like, he's like, "My
Yeah.
service is not over 83 years." I'm like, "Okay, that's a strange number, but we'll take it."
So we're gonna move into an aspect you don't like. So people start dying around Michael J. Fox in the same way that his wife died in a car accident and he can see numbers in their head, but he sees the ghost, but nobody else does.
Yes.
So they start thinking he's the killer because he ends up being around the bodies. I can understand why they think he's the killer, but they then introduce a character of an FBI agent.
Who seems more likely and more capable of committing these murders
So
than
this guy is known in like the sort of B movie horror community and the Reanimator films. Actually, a really good actor, but yes, it is like the most strangest part of the film. I don't hate it personally. I think because I like the actor,
Milton Dammers, which just
but I can,
sounds.
I can I can understand someone who doesn't know who he is, like to just hate him,
Yeah,
like to
I
absolutely despise.
full hated him straight on, dead. Like his whole, definitely him. You don't understand these people. He's a sick person. He believes it's someone else doing it to cover up his thing. Where's your proof he's doing it? Oh, it's just him. Wait, he's near the body. Yep, that's it. But why? You're an FBI agent. You've done 20 years on investigation. Blah blah blah. All this. Why him? Oh, because he was near him. That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense. Then to add in, I
exactly.
can't be screamed at by women and only ever use it once in the film. Really fucking stupid.
The only aspect that really makes me believe about that really makes me think about is the knife. You know how his wife got that thing carved in her head.
Yeah,
They could never find the knife. Like that kind of makes like it does sort of move towards him for his wife, but everybody else is kind of how like I get how you could be like, well, they're basically blaming him for plot reasons.
yeah. It's like there's no
But
filler. They're just like,
yeah,
yep, him there.
yeah, I
It's
get
just,
that. But that I do believe that they could believe he killed his wife. But I see how you can be like, well, they have to blame him for the murders because they have to do for plot reasons.
yeah. They've got no other reason than just to point the
Yeah,
finger. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. So I do agree with you on that aspect. Um, I'm assuming that the weird where mummy fight.
Hated it.
I'm assuming you. Yeah, I
Hated
know.
it.
Like, I know. I can imagine you hated it.
Fucking.
I'm
Oh
assuming it
my
was the
god. What? Not
judge
even.
shagging the mummy and that. Like that you
Yeah.
didn't like.
Yeah. The judge just like,
Yeah.
it's just I like it when they sit still like that. Like, who is that funny to? Like, I don't understand. Like, is that insinuating he likes to sleep with dead people in the past
Yeah, it's
life?
just dark humor. Yeah,
Like,
I guess so.
as far as I know about this character, he seems like an old timey prospector type guy.
Cowboy. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's really strange. That out of nowhere, it's like, oh, I want to fuck mummies. And also the police just shooting up the museum really
Yeah.
annoyed
So
me.
they shoot. The police openly just shoot people. I will admit about that. But we talked about that in Blade, where they just randomly shoot at civilians too. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it was just something happened in the 90s.
So, yeah, just in the 90s, police
Just the 90s.
officers
Just the
just
90s. We're
randomly
moving
shooting
past that. We're
people.
moving past that. We're moving
Okay,
past it.
okay. What is the need for the FBI bit when he drags the woman to the fucking cemetery and rips his shirt open? It's like, my body is a life of pain. I'm moving it with
You
my
thought so
mind.
is that when Michael decided to try and fight the ghost on the other side?
Yes, he's went into he's
Which
comatose
is,
into
I
the.
like that. I like that. That's a good aspect because I do like all the different types of the ghosts that help him out. But
Yeah,
the reason why they took her away to the cemetery, I think, is just to build tension. Where if she'll bring him back to life on time,
right.
which
Which,
is just
like,
plot
it's kind
reasons.
of like he's never really see it, and then it's just boom, he's back. It's like, oh, okay, like cool. Like I didn't see her struggle to get there. They had 20 minutes, but she was able to get back. Which again, I'm thinking too far into it. Like I'm thinking too
Yeah,
much
you're
about it.
definitely, yeah,
You
again,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
I do agree with you.
Also, the
But I can
doctor,
understand.
the lead
Uh-huh.
doctor, doesn't
Just helps.
question. He
Just,
just,
yeah, just said,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
know, I
like,
know, I
okay,
know.
okay, I'll leave it. It's
I'd say this is the
1986.
thing. I'm not saying that. Like I agree with you. Like it's to me, there's you will always point to those things in films where you you just
Yeah,
have to accept
yeah,
plot reasons. I just kind of I don't know. For some reason, the reason why I like it is because it's not. I know it's not a horror film, right? But see, when it comes to the horror genre, I get sick of seeing the same thing. I get sick of seeing someone's house being getting
yeah.
terrorized, or someone's bairn scary, or someone's doll scary, or it's just the same. Honestly, like in horror, you can in like that you can get some of the best films ever made, but you can also get some of the most recycled bullshit that's
Yeah.
ever been made as well. So this film is kind of it's
Three.
different to something that I've seen before, so I just kind of like it because it's like it's completely out of left field.
Yeah, and there's probably like 1,000 TV shows now that's just like it. But anyway,
Yeah, like I mean,
um,
Someone Seen Dead People isn't new, but the
yeah.
whole aspect of like
Ken who I
school
liked.
shooter aspect, well,
I
not that, but I mean
liked.
the shooter aspect.
Yeah, Ken who I liked in this film. I liked Cyrus, Stuart, and the Sheriff Perry, right? Because they kind of just seem like really nice people, and they're on Frank's side all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like, well, it's Frank. Like, don't be a dick. Like, Frank, take care of us. And he's kind of like, why would I take care of you? You're a ghost. Like, I like that little break in the whole, like, oh my god, someone's trying to kill us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that little bits of break and in between before it gets to the real, oh my god, it was her, it was him. No, he's dead. They're dead. Um, and I liked the way it broke it down. Um,
I do, yeah, I do like the personality of all the types of ghosts and that, and I do understand that, like, because he like can start because nobody's going to believe him that a ghost is killing people. So I get that he sort of accepts responsibility of what's going on.
yeah.
Um,
I did not notice that. Do you remember 2.5 Men?
hmm
Do you remember the weird lass that used to jump the banister all the time and try to sleep with?
Yes, yes.
She was in this.
Is she?
Yeah, she's. See how when you go into the sheriff station, there's always that one guy and the one lassie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the lassie.
Huh, there you go.
Yeah, fun
I
fact.
mean, so after him fighting the ghost and finding out that it's the guy who did the hospital shooting from the flashbacks and that,
Yeah,
and
Jake Busey, aka Johnny Bartlett.
yeah, as in Gary Busey's son.
Yeah,
So, like, in the aspect of the lassie who apparently he basically made come on his side, like he
Patricia
basically,
Bradley.
like she was like, oh, she was brainwashed and she didn't want to do any of this. It turns out that she's basically been an asshole the entire time.
Yeah,
Because that's usually what happens. Like, if something's part of it, then she enjoyed it.
yeah,
Which I mean, I obviously like first time didn't see coming, and I like that you didn't see it coming. So they're really good for just making you believe that she's
yeah.
innocent.
Does that mean her mum kept the knife? Right? Because that was the
Well, I
bit
think
where.
she kept the knife.
No, but the thing is, remember the mum goes, "Oh, at any time I can get her thrown away." Like that was her insurance, and the daughter just didn't know it was there.
Maybe.
Because the daughter kind of went, "Here, you go in there." Now, if the daughter had put the blade in there, it'd have been really weird for her to do that if she knew the blade was there.
Now, before going into, I would say the best bit of the film, right, in
Okay.
my opinion, which is the end, right?
Right.
There is one question that's always bugged me for this film,
Okay.
right? Is that why can Patrice see Johnny?
Trauma. Like she's so in love with him, and he got electrocuted that her mind broke,
hmm
and they just
Probably. I mean, yeah, it would, like, that makes
But
sense.
to be fair,
they
they never really explained how he sees. It was just in a car crash. That's just it. Like they never
Well,
said,
it's
"Oh,
more about you. They do. It said like what they said. They talk about how if you live through trauma,
yeah,
you can start seeing things you could normally not see.
yeah,
So maybe the aspect of like losing her love made her be able to see ghosts.
yeah."
It's just that you just sort of accept it when the two of them are working together that she could sort of see what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing that's always kind of bugged me. But I agree. I don't know if you agree with me, but the end section in the hospital is the best part.
Oh, aye. Yeah, yeah.
Like
Definitely.
the flashback of seeing actually what happened in the hospital is the best bit of the film.
Yeah, which I'm guessing it's because he killed himself technically that it's made him do that, because there was no inclination of why he'd be seeing that. There's no reason for how. Like, I understand that he can see people, but not way anyway through the film had they went, oh, you can see this amount of stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I think it's maybe just a really cool idea, and then they just did it
Yeah,
because it is a really cool idea of him basically seeing what happened and everything to the people.
yeah,
And then you meet and then when he tries to deal with Johnny before getting pulled back to life, the guy comes up to him and says like, "I was the last
yeah,
victim" and stuff. When
yeah,
he really wasn't, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
And then you get to see everything that happened in the hospital. I'm assuming you enjoyed watching the FBI agent die.
Yes, 100%. The minute, like, take away the fact that that guy fell through 4 levels and only
Mm.
really was battered and bruised. Um, like seeing that FBI get his fucking head blown off was one of the, like, why also why has he always got an Uzi?
Because
Like,
he's mental.
like it's just, you know what I mean?
Basically, because he's mental.
Yeah, I do love the.
I don't mind how it's like resolved. Like, do you think he on purposely let himself die?
No,
Or
I think that she's probably, I think she's probably killed
he
him.
starts getting choked by Patrice, and
Yeah,
then she kills him, and then
he drags her out.
he basically eventually she's going to kill and it's going to be over, and then he starts attacking them as ghost, and then pulls her ghost out, and then they start going up to heaven. Like it is like a sort of just a way of explaining it, but I kind of still like it at the same time.
I think it's one of the things where they've just kind of went, okay, this is how it's happening. This is the end. We're not going to go too much into why he's done it. He thinks he's dead. Let's play on that. He's just going to go. He thinks his time's over, and he's dragged her out and got them fooled. I love the fact that they were like, "Ha ha, we're going back, motherfucker," and it's like, no, you're not. You're inside a giant worm, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, you go to hell.
Yeah,
Like you're fucked.
yeah. I love how she's trying to shake out. Like, no, don't let me go. Like, you're not getting away. Like, motherfucker, you killed what? You helped kill nearly 30 people? 20 odd people?
Well, yeah,
Know
well,
what I
I
mean?
guess it was 12.
12 to begin with,
Well,
and
I
ended up
guess
at 40.
after she got hanging up by her mum, so I think she maybe stopped after his wife.
Yeah.
But then I'm not sure because only his wife had a real hang in her forehead, where everybody else had just the
Remember,
ghost.
remember they were like, oh, it only started after your wife. So she would have been out of prison at that time, because she was only in for like 5 years. No,
Yeah,
5 years, like 20, I don't know how many
she
fucking
did
years.
do a lot of time and then was forced to live with her mum.
Yeah, so she's clearly been out and about and done it. And that last
The
was the
only
13th.
aspect that I don't understand about it, and again, it's actually just kind of popped into my head the same as is that why didn't she just kill her mum earlier?
I think it's a cover, like her mum's really evil and angry and all this, but she's just a shy, broken little girl, and people can understand why she's fell for his trap and all this stuff. Also, what I don't understand is why she goes, oh, that's my mum makes my dad's urn live there, and it's not the dad, it's the Johnny's. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I feel like the mum would notice. You know what I mean?
I think maybe she knew. That's why
Alright.
she says her daughter's evil because she knows that she's still in love with Johnny.
Uh,
So I think but she obviously doesn't want her daughter to go to prison, but she just keeps her locked up because she knows that her daughter is actually evil, because she actually is. I'm glad that he didn't die and Michael J. Fox got to go back.
yeah.
Like,
I still feel like those two together is forced at the end.
yeah,
Like,
the relationship between them is forced. There's no denying that
Yeah.
because she barely knows him. She's barely lived in the town, and then she just is in an unhappy marriage, and then just likes him just because. So I do agree with you that the relationship is forced.
also, he has
So
no
what?
reaction. Sorry to interrupt you. He has
No,
no
it's all right.
reaction to his wife. None. Like, there's no, oh my god, hi. He kind of just walks, like walks towards her, and that's it. And the guy's like, nah, down you go. I'd be like, fuck that, I want to stay here with her. You know what I mean?
But I don't think he gets a choice. But I do understand. Yeah, I would be. Yeah, I would be. I'd have more than reaction what he did
Yeah.
because again, it just feels like the aspect of the film is great, but the whole there is definitely a forced relationship, and I will agree with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna give it just an average 3. I don't hate it. I don't think it's terrible. I don't truly think it's incredible. I just like the aspect of the film, and I just feel like it's something different. So I've kind of
Yeah.
always gleaned towards it. What about yourself?
I'll have to give it a 2. I
That's
just feel
fair. I mean, again,
it's
I've seen you give worse, so
yeah,
so
that's true.
it's not the worst thing ever.
That's true. That's true. But you've picked worse, so it's okay.
Oh yes, I've definitely picked worse. I've picked worse. This is probably the worst film I've picked in your opinion,
Yeah,
compared to the trash that you've picked.
talk about all films I've picked have been great.
I'm not going to start listing stuff off.
Not a problem.
People could just look through our back catalogue and just see the title of the film and go, "This was Cam's choice."
Dick. But as we finish the film section, we will go into what we've done lately. I will not talk about my game that I've played because it's only been one.
You can talk
Pardon
about
me.
it if you want, man. I mean, you said that there's a new Halloween update.
Yes, it's
So
Haunting
what
of
so
Verdansk.
if you want to talk about it, you can talk about it.
I'll,
It's Call
I'll,
of Duty, so
it's Warzone. It's Warzone, so we'll just kind of leave it at that. They brought in
no, you can
like
talk about the new
uh,
Halloween update, man. Honestly,
they brought in Saw.
uh-huh.
They brought in
So, like
Chainsaw,
a
like
saw.
the Saw, like the film Saw.
Uh-huh.
Like the you want to play a game like him, you can go as him.
Uh,
They brought in Leatherface.
what do you mean you can go as him?
Like you can
Like a skin?
like yeah, you can buy him as a skin.
Oh, Jigs. Oh, right. Okay, the little doll.
Yeah. You can go
Right,
as
yeah,
you can
yeah,
be
right.
him.
Okay, yeah.
You also get in Michael Myers might be coming in at some point. That's just been rumoured, but we've got him in
You get
Leatherface now.
Leatherface.
We've got Leatherface, and we've
Uh-huh.
got the Dr. Krakow from the zombie series. Like you know how every Call of Duty's got zombies.
Yeah.
That's it. This one. They
So
brought
is
him
it
in.
just skins? Is there nothing in the
No.
actual
There is a
advance?
battle royale trick or trios, which is a trio match where it's in at night time. Uh, you open up the boxes and there's fucking like ghosts pop out and like you could go down. They go to the dam and what's used to be dripping water is now dripping blood and you see ghosts floating past and all this. But what they've brought into as my favourite has to be the zombie royale, which is your trio again. You drop in. If you die, you come back as a zombie, and you chase
Oh,
other players around. Right? You have
that is a
to
good idea.
you have to kill 2 players and get their
Mhm.
stim packs to come back as a person. But if you
Mm.
die, if you're killed as a zombie, you're dead. Your teammates have to buy you back. But if you get stims as a zombie, like as you find the stims as a zombie, you come back as yourself with all your weapons, your ammo, your money, everything back intact. There's no need to run around and try and pick stuff up again.
See, I kind of like the whole just staying as a zombie, so
Oh,
then it becomes loads
you
of
could,
zombies.
you could, if you're quick enough. But when it gets to that, like, because the circle's condensed, like it's not like the big massive map. It's slowly in the corner, or it's in the other corner. It's like bang in the middle, and the zone's coming in quicker. But
Have any defense as a zombie, or are you
oh
clumsy
mate,
as fuck?
you can super jump, which is it's just cool. You can throw gas grenades, and you do like an electric EMP thing, so it stops like their mini map and everything like that, and you can kind of jump them and beat the crap out of
Okay,
them. And
see,
the
I would
person,
rather just stay as a zombie. That sounds more fun than
yeah,
bringing
like
yourself back.
I kind of, there's some people that, like they kind of wish they made it like everybody drops in, but like 50% of the teams are
I mean,
zombies.
it's like infected, basically.
Yeah, like people are like, oh, they should have done that type thing, which I would
The
have
question
enjoyed.
is, right, is that if you get turned to a zombie and then the zombies win, does it count as a win?
Yeah, but you have to be the last zombie. Like it has to be us. It can't be like, oh, all 50, 100 zombies. You know what I mean?
All right, so you have to be the last, so it's every zombie for themselves as well?
Pretty much. Yeah,
That's a bit weird, but fair. I
it's
mean, that
mad.
doesn't sound too bad. I mean, that's actual putting a little update in instead of just skins because I thought it was just going to be skins. So
No,
that doesn't sound too bad. I mean,
it's
I
good,
can
mate. The
understand.
map looks so much better at night time. Like,
I,
like
well, I feel like is it you get night vision or is it just
no, no, it's no night vision. Like, you remember how it was like green and all that shit? Like, it wasn't that. It's just night. You know how if you go outside, you can kind of see because of like
all
street
right?
lamps and stuff like that. Like, it's that type of dark.
Oh, so it's not like pitch black. It's just
Oh my
night.
god, I wanted pitch black. Like, I wanted, like, you had a choice of wearing the fucking night vision type shit. That's what I wanted. But I like this update. It's really cool. That's minted blood in it. But moving on before you start ripping into me for my changes, which you already done today. I also watched a film which is it's Halloweeny, and it's Hubie's Halloween. And
Okay.
have you seen it?
No, no, I've not seen it.
I won't spoil it in the story wise, but in layman's terms, I will never get those moments back. Because you remember when he was like, "Oh, when I make a great film, I'm going to make a really really shit one."
I don't think this is it though.
That has to be. It has to be, mate.
I just don't think you like Adam Sandler. I just
If
don't think you do.
I love Adam Sandler, I still find that fucking the one that he done with the 7 people. I still find that funny at times. I love all his classics, but
You see, that's the thing. You like his classics, but you don't like. You very rarely like up to date stuff.
no
I
one
don't
likes,
disagree
no
with you.
one
That's the
really
thing,
likes Adam
I don't
Sandler's new
yeah,
stuff. Like, I don't know a person who's ever went, yeah, that's good.
there's probably people out there. I don't know. I haven't watched it, so I can't give my opinion on it.
You
I've
should,
heard that
you
it's
should
all
watch
right.
it.
Well, if you tell me it's shit, then I'm not going to do it
Yeah,
because
but
I like that.
you have to watch it so you can be like, ah, yeah, I get it, I understand
Okay,
this.
well, I might give it a bash.
Yeah, do it between your IKEA building.
I've already built IKEA.
But I've also watched a TV show on Netflix called La Révolution.
Is it in French
Et oui, monsieur, it is.
with subtitles?
Yes, but you can also turn it
It's
English,
dubbed.
but it's kind
It's
of weird.
dubbed.
It's dubbed, but you can also turn it
Nah, I
English.
can't.
You can
I
turn it
can't.
English. You could turn it English, and you can't really notice the difference.
So,
I
but you
put
could turn it as in they speak French and then it's in English subtitles.
no. You can have it as French with English subtitles, or you can have them speaking English.
No, I hate it. That's the thing I hate. In any of the Netflix shows that's meant to be in a different language and they put it in English, it always looks off. Always.
Well,
I hate
anyway,
it. There was an
anyway.
interesting show where this weird sort of fucking detective one about teenagers getting killed in the woods, and I started watching it and it was dubbed, and it's like watching one of those ones where they used to like say a full sentence, like their whole mouth is a sentence, but then they just say "I," and it's
Yeah,
like that, and
yeah.
it just makes me not like it.
I understand. All I can say is it is a very good TV show so far. I'm only like 3 episodes in. Seems like a nice story. It's kind of weird how it's like it's not only about a revolution. It's kind of like there's a disease going about. Either I don't know if it's vampirism or zombie related because I'm not that far into it yet. But it's just really it seems really good for me
All right,
anyway.
okay. That's
What
good.
about
I
yours?
mean, as long
What?
as I'm not going to say it's a bad show, I just don't like dubbed. I would rather
Yeah,
just be in French and then be English subtitles. Like, stop trying
that's
to
there.
put it
That's
in.
there too. That's there too.
So
Like,
you can make it. So that's what I said. So you can make them
yeah, but
talk French.
that's what I said. I said that you get French with subtitles and you get dubbed.
I would probably rather watch it with French with subtitles because I
Yeah,
don't. The dubbed is always
yeah,
off. It
it's
just is
good.
always off.
I think you'd like it. But anyway, that is my fun times for the last week. What about yourself, Mr. Dyke?
What have I done lately?
Yeah, besides,
Uh,
painting.
well,
You
yeah, obviously, I'm not going to go into my housework related stuff.
well, that list is too long.
So. I've mostly just been playing a couple of games, but mostly my attention has been to the new Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer slash single player update.
I
Um,
hear it is very well done.
is it for something that costs absolutely fuck all is incredible.
Now, do you have to complete the story to play the multiplayer?
Nope, nope.
That's
You
weird.
don't have to complete the story to play
It's weird.
multiplayer
It's weird. I
whatsoever.
I never got an invite to that, but whatever. Just
Well, you're
saying.
too busy. You're on
I
your new
think
Halloween
I,
update, mate.
you've
So.
got life things. That's why I think you're busy. But whatever. Okay, I'm not her. I'm not hurt.
Yeah, you do not have to play you do not have to finish the story to play multiplayer. It is basically so what they added in single player. Just to talk about that first, new game plus.
Hmm.
And when you enter New Game Plus, there is a new seller called Baku the Voiceless. Of like he doesn't obviously he doesn't talk and he's wearing this mask and he sells like stuff that like you couldn't. He sells like stuff related to story spoilers basically. So you remember, I don't know how far you are in Ghost of Tsushima, but have you met the other Straw Hat guy, Rizu?
Uh, I believe so. Yeah. Ah,
Yeah, he
he's
gets
part. He's part of the crew.
yeah the Straw Hats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've met him.
yeah. So you get his armor, and you also get the bow and arrow guy's armor.
All right.
Uh,
Nice.
which yeah, the bow and arrow guy's armor is broken as fuck. It's basically like because you know that mystic tail for the bow and arrow armor.
Yeah.
Um, basically his armor, the one for the actual the Iskawa's armor is like maxed out version of that right for the start because you can't max it out or upgrade it. It's already fucking nails. But it makes sense for New Game Plus because you're playing on a harder difficulty. It's just giving you stuff. You've already earned all this by completing the game.
Yeah.
They've added new charms in as well, new masks. All the new charms are excellent. They've added in like they added in a charm that if you use like the way the flame, which is where you can light your blade on fire, it starts lighting other people on fire. They added a charm in that when you use Heavenly Strike, it's a lightning guy and starts lightning, like striking all the enemies by lightning. You can make the combat more bloody with a charm. There's a charm that lets you pet the animals and turn them onto your side. So they added a lot in. And if you do story missions, you get Ghost Flower now, and then you go back to that Baku guy and buy like up to date stuff and like different gameplay things. They added loadouts, so you don't have to constantly keep switching between when you came across, you'd have to put your. They made loadouts so you could just easily switch. So they've added a lot of decent stuff in.
Oh, cool.
And then in multiplayer, it's so there's two aspects to it now. There's a story, which you can only do two player, and it's basically like missions on. There's bronze, silver, and gold difficulty. Bronze is just the bog standard mission. You go in, you can do whatever you want. There's about 8 story missions. You can just play two player. Play it on silver difficulty. Start getting challenges with it to gain more XP, and then you obviously can get like. There's also saying it's more difficult, and then on gold it's even more difficult and you can't die at all or you fail. And then there's a survival, which is basically like a wave-based mode, which is 4 player. There's only 4 maps right now, but it's basically like most wave-based things. You can buy like upgrades in between waves. Bronze is 15 waves, silver's 20, gold is 25, and then there is a raid, a 3-part raid coming next week or the week after, which there is also not going to cost us anything as well. So, effort to sucker punch basically. Like they just like not only is Ghost of Tsushima the best game I've played this year, but they've just outdone themselves again.
Good. Good, mate.
Like
I'll,
absolutely outdone themselves. Like
it's good to hear, man. I'm glad they've kept on and that what they've added sounds amazing to keep
it
people
does honestly, man.
entertained.
For absolutely fuck all they have just completely outdone themselves.
Yeah, now we just need a samurai zombie game and I'll be happy.
And I mean, I won't. I'm watched. There's a new season of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix, so watched a couple of them. Fell asleep during one of the night, so I'll have to catch up on that. Started watching a docu series of The Dark Side of the Ring, which is a docu series about like wrestling related stories, like
Yeah.
sort of darker stuff, which is excellent. And then I watched 2 films. One was Ad Astra, which is basically just daddy issues but in space. It's still good though. Like it's not amazing. It goes a bit long. Brad Pitt's really good in it, and the ending's a bit meh. Just happens. And then I
Yeah.
watched The First Man with Ryan Gosling about the moon landing,
Yeah.
which I actually really enjoyed. Surprisingly, I like it's really interesting. Like though it isn't just about the moon landing, it's about him in general. And you don't actually realise like how many lives were basically taken by accidents, like figuring out how to get to the moon, about how basically there's a bit in the film where every friend that he's made, he just gets like a phone call every couple of months and be like their accident that they died. There's a bit where like three of his friends are in a cockpit getting ready to make a test flight, and then a pipe catches fire, and then just the whole cockpit explodes, and he's like away doing something, and he gets a phone call. It's like they all died, and then he all died, and then like it's just all his friends died basically.
Yeah.
And one of the things is like, see when they land on the moon,
Yeah.
like you know what's happening, you know he's going to be fine, but it's still weirdly tense as fuck. Like it's strange to explain, but basically the way the film does it is it's like you know they're going to land, you know they do land, you know he's fine, you know he's still alive, he gets home, he's Neil Armstrong, but it still makes you believe that you're like that. It's because they built up the anticipation of landing on the moon for the entire film. So when it gets to that, you're still like you've still got that feeling of
Yeah.
when it actually happens. So I really enjoyed that actually. And that's about it, man. That's just a couple of films and some games. Just the usual for myself, just like you.
None different, none changes, mate. None different, none changes. But good. It's
Apart from I got my wife moaned at me because apparently I was watching too much space things.
well, that does seem like an abundant amount of space things, my friend. I'm sorry.
I didn't
It's
watch
just
that docu-series that got put on Netflix about the Challenger disaster yet, which I want to watch.
just wait till she's away out. She's at work. You'll be fine.
Well, I was going to watch it, but then I started watching that Dark Side of the Ring. But I'll probably watch that Challenge Disaster next, because a
Yeah.
three-part series on the Challenge Disaster about the the one that just blew up when it was like taken off.
Yeah.
So there's one about on that on Netflix. So I'll probably find that really interesting.
No doubt you do. You do love a good docu, mate. You do love a good
Well, there
docu.
is a docu-series. There's not. There's a film called Apollo 11,
Alright.
which is there's no talking during it. There's no commentary. It's just capture footage of them getting ready to go on the moon. So it shows all the real Neil Armstrong and all these guys training. And there's no talking. There's no nothing. It's just film footage of all the training that they did. That I've been really interested in watching. But again, like I could watch that myself, but like my missus would be bored out of her fucking mind
Yeah.
watching that. Where I'd be like, look at their suits. And
Look at the space. It's like stars and stuff. You should like.
I would be that sort of thing where like I love a good documentary, especially
Yeah.
about interesting stuff. Anyway, that's what I've done lately. I'll stop rambling now.
That's fine. It's fine. That's what we're here. We're here to ramble at each other. But that has been it. That's the end of
Yeah.
the pod, and I have my choice for next. Do you want to hear it for next week?
Well, yeah, we promised to keep going doing the Halloween route. So basically, what I wanted to do was obviously once we found out that Blade there was a sort of a spanner in the works in Blade. We wanted to sort of start off easy, then get more scary, and I want to end on a just a proper scary film.
Yep.
So hopefully
Ghost.
that might be next week. But
Ghost Ship.
is that your choice?
That's my choice. Ghost Ship.
Okay,
That's,
I haven't seen that in a while.
I know it's very horror and supernatural. I remember watching it when I went to Portugal. So it's fucking very long ago. I was like 16, I think. 17, 18.
So for me, the most thing I remember about Ghost Ship is the start.
Yep.
Is the wire bit.
Yeah.
That's the bit I remember the most about that film. But okay, cool. So we got a nice little we jumpy scares. So after Ghost Ship,
Yeah. After Ghost Ship, we'll pick a
we need
truly
to
crying,
we need to
tearing
get
up
something that is just.
horror.
See, the thing is that I didn't want it. Like I was more thinking about.
Yeah, but the one you done was comedy horror. Mine is
Yeah.
scare horror. So yours is going to be like, oh my god.
See, what I wanted to do is I wanted to do like an uncomfortable horror. Like
Now
it's just uncomfortable.
that's your pick. That can be your next pick then, right? You bring that to the table, my friend, and we will make it work.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just don't know. Like, there's a couple. Like, I didn't want to go too far, too, because like I didn't want to go like too far,
I'm
because I could
spew
go too
I'm
far.
spewing in my bed and that like, oh my god, why am I
No,
watching
more
this?
just about like set like just start like this. I need to like keep it still talkable,
Yeah.
basically. Can't just like
It'd just
watch
be an hour.
random.
It'd just be an hour and me be like, Fraser, why? Why did you make me watch it? I've not
Especially if
slept.
we, yeah, it'll just be an hour like beep 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 beep. Remember when beep beep beep?
Just sobbing my eyes out. But yeah, I hope you like my
Well,
choice
yeah,
when it
gosh, yeah,
comes,
sweet.
and hopefully it's not as bad as your choice. But you know what I mean, opinions what opinions are.
Yeah,
As always, I've been Callum Taylor.
I've been Fraser. Do you want to say something about your Twitch again? I
Yes,
haven't been streaming that much just because I've got basically I'm off just now, and my wife has basically been like, mind that time you did housework, so that's why I've not been streaming in.
chores,
And
chores, 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 chores.
but yeah, do you want to spit? There's
Yeah,
no point in me
yeah,
saying mine. I've not been doing anything recently, but I know you have still been keeping up your CODs streams. So if you want to see your Twitch again,
yeah. My Twitch is Calumpty PPV. I do Twitch mostly every night, sometimes during the day. And always, as always, you can catch us on this YouTube channel. So this is where we're at. I don't think we're going to take games onto the YouTube anymore. It just seems easier on Twitch.
no, yeah, I think it's fully you're in
Yeah,
that to the Twitch stream, and I think it's
yeah,
much easier on that platform.
yeah. Especially because we've got things like Valhalla coming up, and we've got things like Cyberpunk coming up. You know what I mean? It's just easier to sit 7 hours on Twitch than it is 7 hours on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Which
And
might seem weird.
we'll be able to talk about hopefully. I mean, I might stream some Cyberpunk depending, because like most of my streams would just me be looking at buildings, and that's not entertaining
Look at
for
this
other people
building,
to
it's
watch.
so pretty.
For me, it
Pretty!
is though. Yeah, I'd just be looking down an alleyway and be like, just imagining Blade Runner, just living that fantasy.
Yep. Mate, if they allow you to wear that jacket in that game with fucking Blade Runner, like the second one, sorry, Ryan
I
Gosling's
want
one.
that there better be a Blade Runner Easter egg because, like, come on,
Yeah.
there
Hopefully.
has to be. Look
Hopefully.
at the gate, there has to be.
Hopefully.
Anyway, yeah, I've been Fraser.
I've been Callum. Catch you next week.